Hello, everybody. Right, well, welcome along to a test run of Star Trek Adventures with the crew of the USS Cuchulain playing themselves, their actual characters in Star Trek Adventures as we would be on board the USS Cuchulain. So everybody's using their own names and have created the character that they would like to be in Starfleet. And we're going to use our ship from Starfleet to play the game. My name is John. If you don't know that already, it says it down here in the corner. And I'm going to be the GM for this particular game. What we're doing today is a one-shot, and a one-shot is an attempt to get our adventure done within the span of like a couple of hours and get the whole shebang done. We're not going into a campaign for today. We're going to see how it goes, and then from this, if it works well, we'll do some more. So fantastic. Somebody's already angry, so I don't know why. I'm going to, first up, I'm going to bring in my assistant GM, which is Robbie, because Robbie knows the rules a hell of a lot better than me because this book is big and I haven't read it all. So while I'm used to running role-playing games, I have many of them, just the exact rules and regs in this book, I don't know them all. So Robbie, who is there? Robbie is going to help me play, and we're both going to hug our books. All right. Oh, Robbie's muted. Hang on, let me just unmute Robbie.
Hello.
There we go. So, Robbie, you're going to tell me, like, I'm going to be running the game and talking about the story, but you're going to tell me what everybody needs to roll, basically, when they look at their character sheets, right?
I am in D&D parlance a rules lawyer.
Rules lawyer. There we go. So we have things now. I don't have a character sheet because I'm the GM, but this is an example. I have everything digitally as well, but this would be a paper copy of the ship's stats and the ship's character sheet, and the guys are going to have something very, very similar. The other thing we're going to test out today, because we never used it, is we're going to use Roll20. So we've all signed up for free accounts on Roll20. And we're going to use that system and trial that and see how we go. So Robbie's used it before. I've been playing around with it for a couple of weeks now. And there's things that we won't be au fait with. And those of you who are watching on the old Facebook, you're used to interacting with us. And Andy Quinn, how you doing, Andy, for joining us? Anybody who watches this in the future on YouTube, we don't know what we're doing. We're just here to have fun. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next player, and our next player is Frank. Frank is the XO of the USS Cuchulain, and in this particular game, Frank will be playing more like the role of the captain. So we do have a captain on board the Cuchulain. His name is Alan O'Shea. His actual rank in Starfleet is Commodore, but we're kind of going to play the system of, Alan does an awful lot more admiralty work, paperwork, and all that type of stuff, while Frank actually sits in the main chair on the bridge and runs the ship for the most part, while Alan deals with administration. And what we've also got today is our two junior officers, Antoinette and Morgan. Hey, guys. So welcome along. So welcome along to our first attempt at a game of Star Trek Adventures. So between myself and Robbie, we're going to be going, oh my God, what do we do? And we all roll dice. So Robbie, if you just want to pull up the Roll20 page there. Robbie's going to show, I have the GM page, so I don't want to be showing that. So Robbie's going to be showing the player's viewpoint. So. There we go. And there we go. So this is the viewpoint that we have. And we've got some virtual 3D dice. And everyone who's playing is logged in. So what we'll be doing is, say Robbie wants to do a dive roll. He's going to have to make a roll on his character sheet. And I'm pulling up Robbie's character sheet right here somewhere. Which one is it? It's the one that's actually named. So, Robbie, you'd have to do a fitness and security roll, I believe.
Cool. So that is going to make my target number 15 now.
Yeah.
So
say it's hard ground. So, it's not the nicest ground. So it's not a difficulty 0. It's a difficulty 1.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to need 1 success. Let's roll the dice.
Okay.
So, I've rolled 2 19s, which are both failures. However, I've also rolled a 1, which is a critical success, which counts for 2 successes.
So you look like Captain Kirk as you dive roll and smack your enemy in the face, coming up with a punch.
And for that, I've also earned a momentum.
So Robbie now has a momentum. So we have physical tokens, which is momentum is a currency that we use in this game to help players spend extra dice if they need to, or if they run out of dice. Now, Robbie, you rolled 3 dice. The basic number of dice you run is 2. Why did you roll a third?
Well, I'm bold security. Therefore, I roll an extra 1d20 most of the time.
Right, very good. So that's just an extra rule that your character has, so that you can roll 3 dice. So the basic dice you always roll 2, and then roll against the difficulty, and you can buy then up to 5 dice using momentum. The momentum is every extra dice is cumulative. So your first extra dice costs 1 momentum, your second extra dice costs 2 momentum, and your third extra dice costs 3 momentum. You can roll a maximum of 5 dice, and that's all 5 d20s. And in the flip side to Dungeons and Dragons, you are rolling under your target number, not over. So 20s are bad, 1s are good. So anybody like me who from my Warhammer days kept rolling 1s, this is a good game for me. Right, so that is kind of the basics. And there you can see in the chat there on the right-hand side of Robbie's screen that the numbers have actually rolled up in the chat window too. So everybody in the game, Frank, Morgan, and Antoinette, all have access to their dice window, which is over on the left of the screen. And once you input what you're going to roll, you can hit the roll the dice, and the dice will appear. And you get both a text version and a 3D version there on the board, right? So that board that Robbie has is just half of the board. So if you want to zoom out, the board's actually square. So down here, and so with R20, what we're going to be doing is we have these are tokens. So these are little just images the guy sent, so that when we run around the ship or the map or whatever, we can just help each other see where things are. And Robbie can also show what his stress, which is hit points, are, and whether he's being damaged or not, depending on what's going on. All right. So that's me yapping away. And to do a quick explanation, Robbie, let's start with Frank, since he's the XO. Frank, give us a quick synopsis of who you are, what you're doing, and why you're on the ship.
Well, I'm the XO. I'm here to lead these guys in whatever mission we decide to do. It's going to be a little bit precarious doing that because I have no clue about this type of game, so I'm a newbie with this. So I'll be relying heavily on security.
Robbie has is...
Yeah, I'll be relying heavily on security and, special ops and everybody else there as well to guide me through and, show me what I need to be doing here. Like Picard, delegating.
All right. So, Robbie, tell us who you are and what you do on the ship.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Robbie O'Brien. I am the Deputy OIC of the 391st Marine Strike Group stationed aboard Deck 15, 14, 14 and a half of the USS Cuchulain. For the purposes of the game, I will also be acting as the Chief of Security and Chief Tactical Officer for the USS Cuchulain. Although that role is held in the chapter by Fleet Captain David Chapman, for the purposes of the game, I will be also fulfilling that role.
So for the moment, while Dave is not on shift or he's on shore leave, you take that role. Next up, we've got Antoinette. Antoinette, what is your role and department on the ship?
I am the science officer on the Cuchulain. Oh, and I still have an echo.
That's okay.
Anyway, yeah, I have interest in xenobiology and linguistics. So any science issues, hopefully I can solve them.
And you're a linguist as well.
Really?
Apparently. Okay, apparently. You know, okay, so there was no studying. She just woke up one morning and she was an amazing linguist. So she just listened to Uhura or Hoshisato. She can listen to language and go, oh, I know what they're saying. So what you're saying is you're a biological universal translator. So that's what Antoinette is. Okay, so thanks, Antoinette. And next up we have Morgan. Morgan, tell us what you do on the ship.
Yeah, I'm Lieutenant Junior Grade Morgan Dean. I am a communications officer, junior communications officer. I'm obviously running the communications at the moment on the bridge.
Okay, very good. All right, so that's everybody who's playing on this particular game, which is fun. Right, so and I'm talking very fast because we've got an awful lot to do. We've an hour and a half to do it in, and we're going to see because once we start going to the actual once we start getting to the action, we're going to be asking Robbie a lot of what do we roll? How does that work? How much threat do we have? So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing the storyline, and Robbie's going to be doing the rules. Right. So Robbie, just tell us quickly, how many momentum do the crew start with, and how many threat does the GM start with?
GM, as a rule, will usually start the game with at least 2 threat.
I've got 2 threats. Again,
and the players will start with a single momentum.
A single momentum, and Robbie is going to be keeping an eye on the threat and momentum as well as myself. Okay. So, and every now and again, we'll throw it up on the game board in Roll20. Okay, so anybody who's watching, oh, we've lost Antoinette. Oh no. Well, that's going to happen. So we'll continue on. And we'll bring her back when she pops up. Hopefully, she can still hear us. I think she froze out there. So anybody out there who's actually watching and tuning into us in this Sunday afternoon, it is just 20 past 8 here, or sorry, 20 past 4 here in Ireland. Yeah, so if you're sitting there and you're watching us live, and you want to participate with what the crew are doing and give advice or say something to them, we can add that into the game in such a way that they're getting texts and stuff through comms or through a pad or a panel or something like that. So even though we can't see the rest of the crew per se. So we're gonna. So we ready to go, Robbie?
Pretty much good to rock and roll.
Okay, so I wrote a prologue for this, and I'm just going to go and find it. Right, so because I think Frank had a bit of a heart attack when he read this and went, "Oh no, what does that mean?" So here's the prologue that we typed up on the page. Red alert! All hands report to. The Cuchulain, the ship rocks hard, and the comm unit begins to fritz out. A bright flash illuminates the room. Captain Frank Kiernan X.O sits bolt upright in bed. He feels a twinge in his muscles from such a fast movement. Oh, Frank! Ooh, put some brufen for Frank. He blinks the sleep from his eyes and squints at the dark, starlit room. He didn't draw the curtains, obviously. His heart races as he grabs his uniform, rushes to put it on, and run for the door. His destination, straight for the bridge. Luckily for Frank, both he and Commodore O'Shea have their quarters either side of the bridge on deck 1 of this Nova-class USS Cuchulain. He moves swiftly to the double sliding doors to the corridor beyond. Too late, he realizes they are not working and collides with the inoperative doors. Cursing, he attempts the comm. Computers. And Frank states, "Computer, open the doors." He states to the room. Nothing replies. And of course, my Alexa's going to answer to that. And he goes, "Emergency override. X.O.'s quarters." Still nothing. He pushes the door control panel with agitation. He's trapped, not 4 meters from the bridge. "X.O. to bridge. Report. Bridge, come in," he decrees. The comm answers with static. What's going on? How can he get out and onto the bridge? Is the bridge okay? Is the ship damaged? Has Commander John East built something new that's gone wrong in Spec Ops? Frank needs to get out of his room. All right, Frank. So we're going to start off with Frank. And Frank, you are in your room. Okay. And Robbie, if you just add Antoinette back in there. And we're going to start with Frank. Where are we going? Frank's quarters. There we go. All right. So, you've got your dice. How do you clear the dice? I've got dice on my screen. It's not on your screen, Robbie, so it's okay.
Nope.
Right. So, Frank, there you are. You're in bed. You've run for the door. Let me see here. I need to get my characters. Where's my character control? Shit. There we go.
Assuming I'm going to be rolling dice, where do I find the dice roller?
If you look on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see something that pops up when you see a little 20-sided die, second one from the bottom. If you actually click that button, Frank, it'll pop up the dice roller table.
Okay.
And you want to have a minimum of 2 D20 selected.
Go.
Okay.
So just basically roll the dice now at this stage, is it?
No, you don't roll the dice. So what I've said in the opening monologue is you've sat up in bed, you grabbed your uniform, and you run for the door. So you're over here, you're at the door. The comm unit won't work. The door panel won't work, and you're hearing a fritzing comm. So you've called out, you called the bridge. So the thing is, now you've got to get out of the room. What are you going to try and do?
Okay, I'm going to call engineering and see if they can jury rig the door to open.
You're going to call engineering to see if they'll get the door open.
Yep.
Okay, try and just use your comm badge there. Try calling engineering.
Engineering, come in.
You get static. Nothing happens.
Okay, let's try security.
Nothing happens. Static.
I think then I'll try and open the panel and see if we can jury rig this thing.
Okay, so give us a what would opening a panel be, Robbie? It'd be
I would say it would be reason and engineering.
Reason and engineering, just to pull the panel off. And the difficulty is 1. Because you're tired and you've just gotten out of bed.
So your target number, Frank, is reason plus your engineering skill.
Okay, I don't have my sheet at the minute there. What does that total come to?
Yeah, you'll need to pull that sheet up on your thing, Frank. Your reason and security is 11.
No, reason and engineering.
Oh, sorry, engineering is 2. So your reason is 9 and your engineering is 2, so that's 11.
Okay.
So if you select 2 and then D20 and then your target number as less than 11, and you can press roll then.
All right. So what do you get? 8?
So he's got a 4 and a 15, which is 1 success.
1 success. So that's fine. He gets 1 success. So you pull the panel off, Frank, and you see the isolinear pathways in the back. There's also a little handle there as well. So what do you continue to do?
Okay, start switching out the chips there and reorganize them to see if we can short circuit the door and force it to open.
Okay, so that would be that'd be a reason and engineering of 2. Difficulty 2. So roll again for difficulty 2.
Okay.
Now, Frank, with this being a difficulty 2 task, I would recommend spending a momentum to buy an extra D20. It gives you an option. If you spend 1 momentum, you can buy an extra dice, and it gives you a better chance of succeeding. But considering you rolled 2 16s, which is 2 failures.
2 failures. So Frank, because you rolled 2 16s, you try and rearrange the isolinear chips in the little panel, and it's so tight in there in your small panel that you shorted it out, and you get a small electric shock, and your hand jumps back.
Right.
Okay. So all right. So Frank's at the door now. I'm gonna just to keep the things rolling. Frank, you are in your room and you're at that panel. So let's jump along to let's see here, Antoinette and Morgan. All right, so Antoinette and Morgan, you guys, where's your portraits here? So you guys are also in Betty Buys as the ship rocks. And let me see, where's Morgan's PG? There we go. All right. So Morgan, I want you to. So you're woken up. The ship rocks, but you've been sleeping in a funny position. So I want you to immediately roll your fitness and security to try and save yourself from rolling out of the bed badly and hitting the deck.
Okay. My fitness is 8 and my security is 2.
So it's 10. 50-50 in the middle.
Is 10.
So you're in the junior
2d20, yeah?
Yeah,
2d20 by default. Again, you can spend the momentum to buy an extra d20. But being that it's a d2, you should be okay.
Let's go.
1 success. Oh, you luckily you managed to not bang your head or anything off the floor as you roll out of bed, and you're suddenly hit with an adrenaline rush going, what's going on? Oh my God. Why? But there's no windows in these quarters. You're buried in the center of the ship. So you have, all you can hear is the sound of the ship's superstructure and frame rocking around, wondering what the hell is happening. Antoinette, you hear all the rumbles around you, and you also hear someone falling out of bed next door. And because you guys share your communal quarters while having separate bedrooms, and as you open your eyes, you've kept yourself in a nice snuggly position, and you're quite safe, and you're able to kind of sit up in bed, it's complete darkness, but you hear rumblings and stuff. What do you do, Antoinette?
I ask the computer to turn the lights on first.
Okay.
And then I shout into Morgan to see, is he okay?
Morgan. So we're going to say there's a bit of a thin wall between Morgan and Antoinette's bedrooms. Morgan, can you hear her?
Yeah. No, everything's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
Nothing happened in here.
The main room lights attempt to come on, Antoinette, but they fritz as well. But your overhead reading light comes on, so the light is quite dim in your room. And as you look around, you notice that you're the only person in the room, which is strange because you should have a roommate. Plus, this ship is so packed. Generally, there's no free beds. There's no. The Cuchulain has so many crew members on board that we can't do any, if we have to move people or save people from a settlement or something, we have to stick them in the cargo bay up the long ladder style. We can't. There's no allowing people to stay in bedrooms and staterooms and stuff like that because everybody's sleeping everywhere. You're just happy that you're junior officers and you're not ensigns or crewmen because they're all in 2280s style bunk beds spaced throughout the ship. So right, so you've got to, but you notice you're on your own. Morgan, you're still lying on the floor in the dark. What are you going to do?
Can I try and get up and switch the lights on? I'll do the same and ask the computer to switch the lights back on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, can the computer switch the lights on?
So you get the same thing. The lights attempt to switch, but you get just the computer attempts to the computer attempts to respond to you, but you just hear fritzing and crackling, and the overhead lights in the bed is all that illuminates, while the main lights are flickering with power surges.
Okay.
All right.
Antoinette, have you got your lights on in there?
Dim lights.
Right.
So
can I get up?
You can get up off the floor. Yeah. Now the call was red alert, all hands to. So you guys have had a call.
Yeah.
So you need to get to your stations.
Right. Try to get through the door.
Try and get through the door. Okay. So your door opens. It goes and it manages to open a little bit. That just the power doesn't seem to be enough power to open it all the way. But you can pull it open the rest of the way. Antoinette, what are you up to?
I'm gonna try and leave my room as well to go to my station.
Okay. All right. So yours again. The door goes and closes, slaps itself closed again, and it goes. And as you trying to get up to the door, so what do you want to do in this instance?
If I can't pull it manually with my hands, I'm going to go to the panel.
Okay, go for the panel. So it's the same as Frank. So it's a reason and engineering role to try and pull the panel off.
Reason 11 and engineering 2, so 13.
Okay, so set up your dice and roll it away there.
Roll 2. Okay.
Okay, so you got one success. Is all you needed. So you pull the panel off. In behind, you see the isolinear pathways. You also see a little handle and a couple of chips and all sorts of isolinear lines going around the place. So what's your next move?
Try and remove some of the chips to get the door open.
Okay, all right. So yeah, to do it's the same thing. Roll the engineering. Okay, so is that 2 successes?
That's 2 successes. Yep.
2 successes. Okay, gain a momentum because it was only a difficulty of 1 for that. That's right, Robbie, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So you have an extra momentum for getting a bonus success there. So well done. So you managed to rewrite the isolinear pathways. So then the door locks itself open instead of constantly slamming through it. Well done. So you make your way into the common area of your combined quarters, and you meet Morgan. He's standing there in his boxer shorts because nobody's gotten dressed yet except Frank.
The XO was always ready to go.
So what do you guys do?
Damn it, can I get back in there and put my trousers on?
Yeah, go ahead.
I may go back in and get dressed also.
There's a moment of you two, you run out and go, you run to your wardrobes, throw on the latest thing, and you come back into the common area. All right, very good. And you guys are in the common area. You guys we'll let you throw your trousers on for the minute. Robbie, what are you up to?
I don't know. Where am I, John?
All right, hang on. Let me go back to my thing here. And where are we? Right, Robbie. So you're also. Let me just rearrange this. So I'll go here. I'm just going to move the guys out of here and use the same map. And so, Robbie, you have a very similar quarters, except you only share with one. All right. So you have to yourself. We'll probably say that you and me share this area, and you've got, but we don't. We each have a bedroom, so we don't have to share with anyone else because of our ranks. So you and me share this area, and so there you are. The other two aren't there for the moment. Let me just give you control of this, and
cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is roll out of bed, pull on a uniform.
Okay. Okay. So as you roll out of bed and you step out of bed, suddenly the ship gets rocked. So to avoid collapsing into something, just give me a fitness and security roll.
Cool. Being the awesome security officer that I am, my fitness is 10 and my security is 5.
Oh, look at you. Ship rolls and you know it's rolling. All right. So what did you get?
Two successes.
2 successes. All right. You can gain a momentum for that.
Woohoo.
So for hitting the gym twice a day.
As I Kirk Fu roll out of bed and into a uniform simultaneously.
Exactly. So while Kirk would roll out of bed, dive roll and tear his uniform, you dive roll and into your uniform. It's like a combat medic doing a dive roll on the battlefield to pick up a wounded soldier, and they do the dive roll over the shoulder, grab the arm, bring it up onto their back, and continue running under gunfire.
Cool. Being the awesome security officer that I am,
what
my
I'm going to do then is I am going to open up the bedside locker.
Okay.
And pull out my tricorder and palm beacon.
Very good. Robbie's thinking. Okay, brilliant. Because it is dark. All right. So are you going to attempt anything else?
Minor action. I'm going to inspect the door to see if there's any issues with it or if it's going to open for me.
Okay. All right. The door does the same thing as Morgan's. It just goes.
Cool. I'm going to run it
open. It seems to be a power management problem going on. So
cool. I'm going to head straight out the door into the corridor.
Okay.
Down the corridor, pound on your door and make sure you're out of bed.
Okay, so you walk to the door, and my door does the same as Antoinette's. It just does that. And as you shine your beacon inside, you see I'm not there.
Cool. In that case, I'm heading straight for the door.
Okay, so you're now at the door of our quarters. Okay, very good. So so you go up to the door, and again you hear the age-old chime of doesn't want to do it. It's not happy.
Well, we'll just have to take out the old tricorder and give it an old scan. And see
okay,
what's going on here.
So you scan. So that would be reason and science.
Mm-hmm.
So give me an old reason and science for the tricorder use. Would a tricorder? Does a tricorder give you any bonuses or anything?
No.
No.
Okay. It's so not going to be nice for me because my reason is 7 and my science is 1.
Oh, brilliant! Right. Okay. Well, to find out what's going on with the door, it's going to be a difficulty 2.
Well, in that case, I'm going to spend a momentum and buy an extra die.
Alrighty. So you guys have 1 momentum left. Yep.
Yep.
Okie dokie. All right. How did you do? Let's see here.
1 success.
1 success. Well, you get a reading on the tricorder, but it doesn't particularly make sense. This seems to be something that you might see down in my lab in the bowels of the ship. So you raise an eyebrow, but you can't quite make out what's going on. But you do spot something else that's going on. The corridor beyond seems to be empty as well, which is a little bit worrying. The ship should be a hive of activity, and it's being rocked around the clock. But you're going, well, hang on a second, what's going on here? So we're going back down to Frank. So let me jump back to. All right, so we're back in Frank's quarters. Frank's at the door. All right, Frank. So, what are you doing? What have you made any decisions as to what you're going to try to do with your door?
No comment, no communication from science or
no. The comms unit's not working. All you're getting is static.
Static. The panel working on the panels didn't work, so I'm going to use the old tried and tested method of getting my phaser. Being an XO, I have one in my quarters, and blast the battle door.
Okay, somebody's got a bit of feedback there. Just check that out. Yeah, Antoinette, that's a little bit of feedback on your end there. So just it's okay. Don't worry too much about it. We can keep. I can keep control of it getting too bad here. So Frank, you're going to go and get your phaser and phaser the door.
Yeah,
okay,
in
Frank,
I went over, got my phaser, and I have tried to
Frank,
Blast
I'm gonna ask you to do a roll a presence and engineering.
Presence and engineering.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to do a presence and engineering roll.
Okay, that's 11.
11. Yep. So just set that up there in the old dice box.
I would also throw in that I'm going to say an extended complication range of 19 to 20.
Yeah. Okay.
Say that again. Sorry, Robbie. You're going to do a
So
what?
that's just something Robbie's helping me out there with. Just to see what you roll first. So it's yeah. So you're just rolling your presence and engineering.
Yeah, I'll spend that momentum as well because I want to get out this door.
So the team have no momentum left. Okay, good.
Okay, so that gives me a roll of 3, correct?
Yep. What's difficulty, John?
Difficulties 2.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so you got 2 successes, 3 successes. Fantastic. Well done.
And there's a momentum right back.
So
Get the momentum back. Brilliant.
Find that momentum there, Frank. Well done. So, Frank, as you have been running around and the door's been annoying the crap out of you and it won't beckon open, and you've been pounding on it, you've been screaming at the comm, and you go and get your phaser, and then suddenly, as you turn around and you look at the door panel, you realize, oh, hang on a second, the manual override is looking at me in the face. It's a little handle that's in there. So instead of blowing a hole in the door and pissing off Alan Whelan and the engineering team, you go over and you try the handle. You put your hand in, you pull the handle, and it releases the pistons on the door. So, but you now have a phaser in your hand, and you make it into the you make your way into the corridor. So, Frank, you're now in the corridor that surrounds. That's a circle that goes around the bridge. So in the corridor, if you go out and turn left, you'll get to your ready room in your office. If you turn right, you'll go down to the conference lounge, which is on the bow section of the bridge deck. Directly across the bridge is identical rooms, but they're where Alan O'Shea as his and Mrs. O'Shea have their quarters. The captain and his wife have their quarters, and his ready room's on the other side. So, and then the bridge is the room that's like in the center of the whole thing. So, okay, so that's Frank. Frank is out and he's in a corridor. So guys, what are you going to do? Let's see. Robbie, we'll get you going and then we come back to the guys who are working together. So Robbie, what are you up to?
It would help if I unmuted myself. So, noting that the corridor outside is empty, I just want to run another sweep.
Okay.
Using my tricorder just to ensure that there is atmosphere and no issue with.
Okay, so I would say that's a reason and science for that one.
Oh, that's gonna be 7. And what are we talking? Difficulty 1?
If you're just scanning to see what the atmosphere and life signs in the corridor, yeah.
No successes.
No successes.
No heads nor tails.
You are so tired and so pumped full of adrenaline and worried about everything that you look at bleary-eyed at the tricorder and can't make head nor tail of the readings. So you can either stay where you are. Actually, hang on for a second. Let me go back to Robbie's quarters. So, alrighty, let's put you back at your door. Yeah, come on. Oh, sorry, back at your door. All right. So, so you can either try and leave and just do it, or
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna step right over to this handy dandy little terminal.
Okay.
And using my senior officer access codes, pull up a status report on the ship.
Okay. All right. So, you start punching in numbers and stuff like that. So, give me a control and command and control, or command and security. I'll let you choose between those.
We'll go command and security.
Sorry, is there control and command or control and security?
We'll go control and security. So
all right, control and security. All right. So, and because of the power outages and things aren't working too well, I'm going to give you a difficulty of 2.
Cool. I'm just going to have a quick look here. Now, seeing as one of my focuses is shipboard tactical systems, do you think that would make it a little bit easier for me?
Oh, okay, we'll bring that back down to 1. Once
Just as well.
Just as well you did that. Now, you could have spent some threat and given yourself some dice.
Yeah.
But so you managed to, you go over to the console and before you go out the door and you type into the systems, and the amount of access that you get is limited. It's very much like Little Rascals, where you have to finagle your way to get the computer to give you the display that you want. Mm-hmm. But eventually, by doing it the right way, you get it to tell you some information. You see that the shields have been reduced down to 80%, and power. There's a massive amount of power fluctuations through the ship, and that there are only 4 life signs. There's only 4 life signs, and
there are 5 light signs.
There's only 4 life signs that you can see that are solid, and there's 1 life sign that keeps blipping in and out.
Okay. I'm gonna haul myself out, pull the manual override on the door, and see if I can get it to open.
All right. So you pull the panel off, and so what I'll do for you now is I'll get you to do a control and engineering with the difficulty 0. So you can roll, and I'll allow you to kind of gain some momentum there.
Control and engineering, you say?
Yes.
13. 1 success.
All right, gave yourself momentum. Yeah. All right. So that's some banked momentum. Right. So we'll just take Robbie off the board there. We put the guys back in. So now, guys, Morgan and Antoinette, you guys have put your trousers on, and you're now talking to each other in the common area of the junior officers' quarters. So. Okay, off you go. Tell me what you're doing.
Morgan, did you get a status update? You know what's happening?
No, I don't. To be fair, I think we should get to like the bridge or something. We should try and contact somebody anyway. Can I try my pip?
Yep, Morgan, you hit your comm badge and you get static. Nothing's happening.
Okay, that's weird. There should be fail safes for that.
Let's try and get out of the room anyway first, because I had issues with my door.
Okay. Shouldn't there be other people here?
Yeah, you have 2 other friends.
My roommate is
other
gone.
people should be living in the room with you, so they're not there. That's another question.
Okay. Yeah, we should definitely try and get out of here anyway.
Is there anything you guys want to? Is there anything you guys want to pick up or bring with you, or are you just going to run as with just uniforms?
No, just grabbing my tricorder and my phaser.
Okay, you're grabbing a tricorder and a phaser. Morgan, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'll do likewise.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that at least one of you bring a palm beacon, 24th century palm beacon, since there's power outages. The old Riker.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
okay.
Just make a note there. One of you has a palm beacon. Because the other person forgot to charge there.
Do you want to take the palm beacon, Antoinette?
I'll take the palm beacon.
All right. Okay, so between the 2 of you, you've got a palm beacon, a phaser, and a tricorder. Okay. So is that all you're taking, or you've got a tricorder each, or what's going on? What are you doing?
I think it's tricorder each.
I have my own. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Tricorder each. Fantastic. All right. So you go to the door. How are you going to get through the door?
Try walking
first. Normal way.
Right. So as you walk up to the door, it does the usual thing. It doesn't do anything. This is something that's been going. You're kind of like, okay, what do we do? You're going for the panel.
Try a manual release, I suppose.
Okay, manual release. Since we've established that works, that's going to work. So the door goes, and you have to manually push it aside now, and you look out into the corridor. So, and it just so happens that I managed to find a lovely image of a corridor.
Ooh.
All right. So
What deck are we on, John?
you guys are on like, I don't know, deck
We know
five
this,
or deck five or
Yeah.
something down the junior officers' quarters. Yeah. So this is the corridor. You see the red alert lights are on. As you step out, you hear you hear static, and the comm is trying to work, but you can't make out what's going on with the comms. The speakers just seem to be emitting something, but we don't know what it is. And the lights are flashing. Luckily enough, there's atmosphere. The ship seems to still have the environmental controls are working, but and gravity, luckily enough, as well, is working away. So you're out into the corridor, and you're on deck 5. So let's go back to so you guys are out there. You've got your tricorders open. So I'll let you guys think about what you're going to do next. So I presume your destination. You said earlier on you're going to go for the bridge.
I think the bridge is the best choice. Yeah.
All right. So you're heading for the bridge. Okay. So you guys need to find a way to get to the bridge, and I'll let you think about what you're going to do for that in a minute. Back to Frank. All right. So Frank, you're also in a corridor that looks like this. It's slightly more curved than what's on the image. And so what do you think? What do you think you're going to do now, Frank? Are you going to? So you've got a few options. You can go and try and directly go for the bridge, or you can go run around to Alan to check on him, or what are you going to do?
I'm going to head straight for the bridge.
Okay. So let's see here. Yeah. So what do you think? Okay, Frank. So you go straight for the bridge door, and you've got a similar situation with the bridge door. You've got a phaser in your hand, and so what are you going to do?
Yeah, I take it the doors are still not operating, so we'll go for the manual release and try and get that door open.
Okay, so give me. So first off, just as you get to the door, the ship takes a hit. So give me a fitness and security roll, difficulty 2 to stay on your feet.
Fitness and security. Okay, so that's 12.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I'm rolling 2 dice.
2d20 unless you want to spend one for.
No, we'll go with the 2. So 12 and roll.
Hey,
2 failures.
2 failures. Frank, you
I got knocked about a bit.
You got knocked about. So as you run to get to the door, you try and brace yourself against the door panel and to rip the panel off to get into the manual override inside. But as you do, the ship rocks. Something hits the ship, and you smash into the wall and crumple to your feet. So Robbie, how do we roll for damage against falling?
I would say it's going to be 66. No, I'd say actually, to be honest with you, it'll be 66. So you'll need to roll this, John. It's 66, and I'll tell you what, I have the damage die here. If you want, I'll just roll them using the damage die.
Yeah. Well, I can set it up here. I have Star Trek dice as well.
Ah, yes. Just roll your 66, and you've got 1 damage, 2 damage, no damage, and effect.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to roll here. I'm going to roll some physical dice. And for those watching, if they don't know, so we have D6. special D6 that have 2 deltas on them, and then they also have blanks, and then they also have 2 hits, and somewhere around here we have 1 hit. All right. So I have 4 Star Trek dice. I'm gonna roll them and see what happens. All right. So we have 1 hit, 1 hit, and 2 deltas.
So you take 4 damage, Frank. You take 4 stress and 2 effect. So I would say 2 bleeding. So you'll have a minor head wound or a minor kind of laceration on your skin somewhere.
Yeah. So Frank, you'll because you've been running for the door, you just bop your head off the door frame, and you have a little slight cut in the top of your forehead.
Now the complication of that being that because you're going to have blood running into your eye, it's going to make anything that's like targeting based or sight based slightly more difficult for you, Frank. So from now on, your complication range is 19 to 20 on all tasks.
Yeah. All right. So so what you can do, Frank, is just to kind of, since you're not used to it, what you can do is as soon as you get onto the bridge and establish things, you can, run for the med kit, the emergency med kit, and just take out a bit of gauze and stick it to your head or something like that. But that'll take an action. So now you have to make the decision whether or not you're going to deal with this or let it run, and deal with the ship instead, or you can go deal with yourself, tidy yourself up, and have better statistics when you're actually trying to deal with the ship.
Okay.
Alrighty, so that's Frank. Frank, so you've taken a hit, so you can get back up on your feet, Frank, and so you go for the door panel. I'm not going to make you roll for that anymore. You pull the panel off, okay, and so you reach in for the manual override, and you pull the manual override, but it seems to be a little bit jammed, and that's where we'll leave Frank for the moment. Robbie, what are you up to?
Well, considering we live on the deck that has the armory on it, I'm going to run straight into the armory, grab a Type 2 phaser, because I don't keep one in my quarters for some reason.
Right, okay. So you're running to the armory. I don't have a map for the armory, but okay.
I'm going to set my tricorder to just kind of continual, kind of 100-meter radius scanning. Going to set it to kind of detect intruders. So any life forms. Right, we
live on deck 2. So, all right. So you run down the corridor. You go down to the aft section. There's a phaser storage locker. You grab a Type 2 phaser. You have a Type 2 phaser in your pocket.
Yep. Cool.
All right.
And straight to the bridge.
Okay, so you're heading for the bridge. So what way are you going to go to the bridge?
Well, I'm going to pop Jeffrey's tube hatch 2B Charlie open and just pop straight up.
You're going to go climb the ladder.
Yep.
Okay, you're clever. Yeah, I like that. So you're going to go climb the ladder. Right, so skipping on to Morgan and Antoinette. So you guys have made it out into the corridor.
Cool.
So what's your destination is the bridge. How are you going to get there? You're on deck 5.
Yeah. Is there any way we can access the comms panel?
Okay. So Morgan, you want to go to a corridor panel, and Antoinette, you're going to run to a turbo lift. Yeah. Okay. So Morgan. So Morgan, you. Let me just hang on a second. I'm gonna go here because I don't have a map for that. I will say, just at this particular juncture, all these images that I'm using are from someone on deviantart.com called Falk, F-A-L-K. And if anybody else wants to go and grab any of the images that this person has made, they're phenomenal Nova class images. So that's where I've swiped all these images for the Nova class. This person has made some wonderful images. So just give them a shout out there. So you go on to deviantart.com and you can find them there. Okay. So you guys are in the corridor. One's running down to the turbo lift, and Antoinette, you get to the door of the turbo lift, and similar things are happening. So you may want to think about whether or not you want to use a turbo lift. Morgan, you go to a comms panel. What do you plan to do with the comms panel?
Yeah, I want to try and reestablish communications with whoever's left.
Okay, all right. So you do a reason and reason. No, what would it be? Reason and what would be Robbie?
Reason and engineering.
Engineering, yeah, reason and engineering there.
Now, Morgan, do you have any focuses that would apply to this?
I have a communications focus.
So,
Diplomacy and
That would
linguistics.
definitely help, unless you want to, unless you want to like negotiate with the computer.
But I have a reason 10 and an engineering 4, so 14.
Okay.
and what's the difficulty, John?
Oh, the difficulty for this is 3.
Okay, and is that taking into account Morgan's focus in communications?
Yeah, we'll take that down to 2. Take that down to 2.
Okay. Can I use a momentum on that, or is there any?
Of course you can.
Momentum for 1 extra d20.
Yep.
That's all you can buy because you don't have enough momentum after that.
Well,
Okay.
the other option we have, Morgan,
Spend
if
some
you
threat.
want, you can add 2 threat to Jono's pool and get an extra d20.
Oh, what do you think, guys? Should I do that? Try and get us talking.
Well, the only person you can actually communicate right now with is Antoinette. You can shout down the corridor at Antoinette. You shout down the corridor to Antoinette and go, "There's a really dangerous system reroute I can do. Do you think I should do it?
Should I do it?
Should I bypass the flow regulator and just send all that energy through the lines, Antoinette? What do you think in your scientific expertise?"
I think maybe we should wait till we get to the bridge before we do things like that.
Okay. I'll just use the momentum. I'm going to try this.
And go, "There's a really dangerous..." All right. So let's say what roll you get there, Morgan.
Okay.
So you're rolling 3d20 with a target number of 13.
2 successes.
I got 2
Well done,
successes.
Morgan. Well done, Morgan. Okay, fantastic. So you pull up, you're meshing away. You go like outside one of the corner units. There's that big panel that you would see in Voyager. Used to have one just across from their like holodeck. There's a big display panel. It's a corridor junction panel, and you start rerouting things and sending power to different areas while the panel's fritzing out. But you're using your focus and expertise that you know so well how to do all of this, that you manage to reestablish communications. And you find that you're trying to tidy up what's going on in the comms, and you see that there's static. So you've isolated that frequency, and you managed to see that there's somebody is trying to transmit a signal, and you've managed to clear it up. So you pull up on the panel, and you see through static, you see an image of me looking directly down the camera, shouting, trying to say something down the camera, and but you can't quite make it out. You've cleaned up the signal enough to see that Commander East is trying to get to you. So so you can shout that down to Antoinette. All right. So,
Right.
Who we not? Oh, Frank. We're back to Frank. So Frank, you're trying to get into the bridge.
Yeah. Well, I take it I've already activated the manual override at this stage and managed to get into the bridge.
So Frank, you managed to get onto the bridge. So Frank, you enter the bridge. So here we are. So Frank gets onto the bridge, and Frank, you come in. You're here. You're just inside the door. So as you enter the bridge, you see that there's nobody there. There's nobody there, and half the panels are fritzing and going on and off. So where do you go first, Frank?
Okay, well, if half the panels are fritzing, I need to be able to suss out what's going on here. So first thing will be the med kit, so I can get a guard and see what I'm doing.
Okay, so just inside the door there, underneath this panel down here, you go for there's the usual like kind of pull down locker, and there's a medical tricorder, there's a hypo spray, and there's a thermal regenerator. So you can delve into that, and give me a let me see.
Control
medicine.
Medicine, yeah.
Control and medicine. So what do you do first, Frank? Are you going to scan yourself, or are you just going to go straight for the dermal regenerator?
Let's go straight for the dermal regenerator.
Okay. All right. So give me a daring.
Established is basically just a small head wound. That's bleeding and obscuring my vision. So control and medicine. So I got 12.
Okay. And it's pretty easy to use a dermal regenerator. So that's a success of 1 to seal it up and stop it bleeding. To make it not scar, you'd have to get more successes.
Okay.
So you can go fuck it and
no guts, no glory. Chicks dig scars, and glory lasts forever.
How did you get that scar? Oh, during the battle sequence. What did you do? Did you get hit by a Klingon? I'll bang my head off a door frame.
Oh no, it was a Klingon. Okay, here we go.
All right, so 1 success. Hang on, what
your
success is not coming up? Okay, I think there's a setting Frank is not clicking there, Robbie.
Frank, your control is 10, is it not?
Wait, what?
Your control is 10 and your medicine is 2, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's 12. Yeah,
that's 2 successes. Yeah,
2 successes. Okay, so if you don't mind having a scar, take a momentum.
Okay, I'll take the momentum.
Okay, so that's Frank's run onto the bridge, and he's sorted himself out. So where are you going to go first, Frank? After you've
going to go to sensors and see if I can find out if there's any life on the ship.
Okay, so since we're a science vessel, we've got sensors out the yin yang. So all these stations at the back are pretty much engineering and sensors. So you're up the back of the bridge. Okay, so back down to Robbie.
So I'm gonna climb the old ladder up the Jeffries tube.
Okay, cool.
To get to deck 1. Now this is after hooking my palm beacon onto my belt, because 3 points of contact minimum when climbing ladder.
3 points of contact at all times.
I'm gonna get to deck 1 and pop that imaginary hatch in the floor that it didn't exist until
you needed it. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to need you to do is you're going to be climbing while the ship is being rocked. So I'm going to need you to do a fitness and security roll with a difficulty of 3 to not lose height as you're climbing.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to need. I'm going to need to spend a momentum to buy an extra dice. And I'm going to need to add 2 threat to your pool, John.
Radio.
To buy another dice.
I now have 4 threat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 5 dice. 3 successes. Well done, Robbie. So, Robbie, you managed to make it all the way up to the to deck 1, and just as you get to deck 1, you try and open the hatch.
I will say, as I rolled a natural 20,
yeah,
there is a complication.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Oh, you're so honest. Right. So here's your complication. You get to the hatch, and the hatch is a hinged hatch, right? Because it's a floor panel hatch. And you're trying to push it up, but it won't move. It won't move. You're there, you're hanging on, and it won't budge for some reason. So we'll leave you there for the minute, okay? And can you clear your dice there? So then we're going to go back down to the guys who are working away in the corridor. So Morgan and Antoinette, you're in the corridor. And Morgan, you're at a control panel, and you've seen an image of me, but you're trying to clean it up. So
still visible.
Sorry,
is it still visible on the screen? Is it?
Yeah, you can see me. I'm trying to talk to you on like literally in a little screen like this. You see me down and in the background you see my lab. I'm in the Spec Ops lab, talking to the screen. and I every now and again I go and try and I'm hitting something on the panel around, and I'm frantically trying to do something, and I'm talking to this I'm kind of narrating what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and I'm trying to communicate. So
Antoinette, you've got a academy thing of linguistics, yeah?
Yes.
Would you be able to lip read what
It
John's
was my
trying?
focus. I will try.
okay, so you guys, so you call
Roll
Antoinette back to the comms panel, and the two of you start working together on the panel. All right. So Morgan, give me another reason and engineering.
Reason.
Or sorry, control and engineering for you, and reason and
Probably insight and science for Antoinette, to be honest.
yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, insight and science there for Antoinette.
Okay. And then drop the thing.
Now, because
What's
this
the
is a
difficulty?
task, because this is a task where you're both actioning it, who is taking the lead on the task?
Well, communications is Morgan, and he's asked Antoinette for help.
Okay. So, Morgan, you'd roll your 2d20 on your X and Antoinette, because you're assisting Morgan by trying to lip read whatever John is saying on the transmission. You'd roll 1d20. Now, Antoinette, your d20 doesn't come into effect unless Morgan gets at least one success.
Okay, so I roll first then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So, what did you roll already?
Yep.
One success from Morgan. So,
Morgan. Okay. I was going to say it's a three difficulty because it is a mess. So you can either spend your single momentum or add some threat. Spending the momentum. Okay, Antoinette, you've got 2 dice to roll. Or sorry, just 3 dice to roll, right?
no, because Antoinette's assisting,
that's
she can
right.
only roll 1d20. So, Morgan, roll one more d20.
Roll one more as well. Yeah. Okay, roll one more. 1 success.
2 success.
2 successes.
Okay. So, Antoinette, if you want to roll then, and we'll see.
I will. Insight and science, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No successes. Oh dear.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. So you've gotten 2. So Morgan, you managed to get 2 successes. You managed to get some audio. You haven't stabilized the transmission, but you've managed to get like a word here and a word there, and so you start hearing me. Is anyone hear me? Come in, anyone? The ship under attack. There's in the Spec Ops lab problem. Interphasic generator offline, and it goes back to static. All right. So somebody's saying should have cast fireball. All right. So you've all right, so you've gotten a small short message out of off the comms panel, so what do you do now with that? A little bit of information.
Does it look like a recorded message or is it live? Is it?
No, it's live. It's live.
Right. Can we try answering it?
You can. Yeah.
Back, man. Reese, come in, please.
Like, clean up your transition.
Okay, we're gonna have to clean this up.
Lieutenant Dean. So you see, I'm trying to help you here. So give me another one. Give me another task of rolling to clean that up. And Antoinette, you can assist him again. So we're going to come back to that. Robbie, what are you up to? Robbie's muted for some reason.
I am muted. I'm knocking on the floor panel, trying to get onto the bridge. I
Okay.
pull the rope.
Frank, so we're hang on, we'll get back here. Frank, roll a let me see, what would it be? Roll a
Insight and security, maybe?
yeah, insight and security. Yeah. Roll an insight and security. Yeah.
Okay, that's 11.
Okay, difficulty 1. Sorry.
So that's 1 success for Frank.
1 success. Oh, we rolled a 19 though.
Ah, yes, but he fixed his head wound, so his
he fixed his head wound. Okay, all right. So Frank, Frank, you're standing there. You're tapping away. You're trying to figure out the comms panel, and under your feet, you feel something that's a little bit different to the vibrations of the ship and the rocking of the ship. There's something. So it's something under your feet. You look down and you realize, oh, hang on, I'm standing on a panel.
Okay. Let's see. So I try and open the panel to see just what's going on.
Okay, you step aside and you open the panel, and as you reveal the panel, you stare into the face of Robbie.
Hey, Frank.
Hey,
What the hell is going on?
where's all my security guys? What's happening here? I've been trying to ascertain from sensors how many life signs are on the ship.
I don't know, but deck 2 is empty.
Okay. We need to find out just how many of our people are on board.
Okay, I'm going to move over to tactical.
Okay,
I'm
radio.
going to pull up my internal sensors.
Okay,
We need to see if we can establish communications as well.
okay, Frank, you run over to. You're going to go over to communications.
Which is where? Over here somewhere. Yeah.
All right. So the 2 of you are on the bridge. You're playing with communications and security systems. All right. So tell me what you're doing, Robbie.
So I'm going to use my focus in shipboard tactical systems, pull up the internal sensors, and try and get a picture of what's going on inside the ship.
Okay. Cool.
And figure out if we can see what the hell we're up against here.
All right. So you're looking inside the ship. Frank, what are you doing?
I am trying to make communications going, get communications going and see just what exactly is happening here.
Okay. So Frank, roll a. So you start punching buttons, and you're looking at the communication system. Everything seems to be a bit of a mess. There's so make a. Let me see. Excuse me. Control and control and engineering, Frank. So you roll control and engineering and difficulty 2.
Okay.
Somebody's got a bad feeling about this out there. Who's that?
It's Mr. Michael Quigley.
Oh, Michael Quigley's joining us in from the States. Hey, Mike, how are you? So it says, is the data on the Kobayashi Maru? Okay, so Robbie, while you're looking through the book there and Frank's tapping away on the thing, Morgan and Antoinette, you're still down in the corridor, 5 decks down.
I think I actually have computer expertise.
Okay.
I wonder if I have a try and try and tidy up that message a little bit more.
Yeah, do you want to take over? I can assist you.
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are on the corridor panel, and so you're going to do the same. You're going to roll. So it was insight and science for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and Morgan, you're assisting with your control and engineering for control and security.
I will go with control and engineering, but yeah.
Alrighty.
One success in a complication.
You got a complication. All right, Morgan, you're going to roll to assist her. So you
Okay.
get the dice, unless you spend some more threat. Threat.
Now, Morgan,
Since-
just before we go any further, do you by any chance have the collaboration engineering skill?
I do not.
What are your talents?
Collaboration's command,
Okay.
and I'm cautious con.
Cool.
Constantly watching.
Hmm.
That's going to help us. So. I do. My expertise is in communications, so my focus is in communications.
All right.
Does that benefit me in any way through my role as an assistant, or
It does.
So I would say that that's going to negate the complication that Antoinette has created.
Okay.
And that you can preemptively reroute any potential overloads or any potential issues with the systems
Right.
and keep what's left of the transmission.
Okay. So just make that roll anyway, there, Morgan.
okay? Yep.
One.
It's still
Critical success.
Ah,
Correction.
We're rolling a one.
A
So between
critical success, which
critical
is
success.
2 successes
Yeah.
for a total of 3 successes.
3 successes. So take a momentum. Take a momentum back. Well done, Morgan. Nice work there. Right. So as you're both of you are tapping away, Antoinette manages to hit the right button, but you notice, Morgan, as you're working beside her, that her panel is about to overload and explode. So you pull her out of the way. As her panel goes and glass shatters across the way, you just pull her to the side. Antoinette, you just see sparks exploding across your nose. You're not injured or anything. Nothing bad has happened. But had you stayed there and Morgan not noticed, you would have got a panel in the face. So good work there, Morgan, counteracting that. But with the part of the panel that's left, you've managed to reroute the power, and you now have a direct communication with me down in the science lab. So you can return the communication down to me.
So, Commander Reese, what's happening?
okay. Dude, are you reading?
Come in. Yes, I can hear you. Where are you guys? What station are you at?
Level 5, panel 2B.
We're on deck 5.
You're on deck 5. I'm at the bells of the ship. I'm in my science lab. I've come down here. We're under attack by a random Klingon. I can't get anything out. The interphasic generator has been hit by a power surge. The first hit knocked out our ability to control where the crew are. So to back up and let everybody know what's going on the Cuchulain, because we're 240 crew members on an 80 crew starship, to fit everybody in, one of the special operations devices that we've invented for the Nova class ship, which is the science vessel. We're a test bed for a lot of devices. So we have an interphasic generator on board that helps us create micro universes or micro areas, sidestepping by 0.004 variance to allow more people use the same space. So even though they occupy the same space, they're not occupying the same space time. So it means we can have more crew members sleeping at the same time. We have common areas of the ship, like the bridge, that is one area. But everywhere else, crew quarters mainly, will have a kind of a portal through. So 8 officers will share a crew quarters for 2, but they won't all be there at the same time. They'll all be in the pocket area. So this particular device that we have on board, a power surge has created a problem, and only you guys. So as I continue to explain, only you guys are in the prime universe, in the prime area. Everyone else has been knocked sideways to 0.003 or 004 variance. Because I'm down in the science lab, I'm 0.001 variance away from the main space-time, but I can't manipulate everything. I'm trying my best just to keep my lab set into where it is and not phase out of somewhere else, and keep all the crew members safe. So I'm down in my lab, and I'm trying desperately to keep everybody having atmosphere and keeping everybody in a phase variance. But the rest of the crew are trapped in pocket universes around the ship. But you guys have you are in the area. You're in the space-time, the main space-time, where you have control of the ship. But there's someone out there flying around shooting at us, but I don't have time to access anything else, and nobody else can get to me to help me. So and you guys are the first people that I've been able to communicate with. So using what Morgan has done, I'm going to try and see if I can establish communications with other parts of the ship, like main engineering and sensor control and all that type of stuff. But you guys should make your way as swift as you can to the bridge, establish this comms link to the bridge as you have to this panel. Don't use the turbo lift. I'd advise it'll be ill-advised to use the turbo lifts. So get out to a Jeffrey's tube and start climbing those ladders. Get those steps in.
To get to Jeffrey's tube. Commander Issa, can we patch it through our comm badges?
You can try. Definitely try. You have master control of the comm system. I'm literally rooting out of my office to try and find something. So yeah, you can keep me on the comm badges. Reroute this algorithm through your local comm badge system. All right. So so that will take you a moment. Morgan, you're going to have to take your comm badges off, pop them open, and get your little tiny screwdriver and do whatever they do when they do that in the show. All right, so it's going to take you a couple of moments to do that. Right, back to Frank and Robbie on the bridge.
Cool. So sensors, scan.
Scan. Right, Robbie, you're on the main bridge. You've got a bit more controls up here than you did down on the little classroom computer in your office, in our quarters. So roll a control and security.
Cool.
And difficulty of 2.
Being assisted by the ship systems, which would be control and security as well. So total of 2, and then mine. So control and security being 15 for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, what we got? 2 successes. Well done. All right, Robbie, you managed to see on the panel that there are only you've literally 4 life signs on board the ship. That's all you can detect. There is a light you can detect that down in the science lab down in the spec ops lab. There is a faint life sign, but it doesn't seem to make sense. And you roll your eyes and kind of go, right, John's had to have done something. So you assume it's me. Since we share quarters,
and you weren't in your bed,
and I wasn't there, so you assume that I'm down there, and I for the moment you assume that I pushed the wrong button and messed something up. You just roll your eyes. You also see that there's no one else is on board. What systems were you accessing again?
Sensors through the tactical console.
Yeah, so outside, you were just doing an internal scan.
Yes, internal sensors.
Internal sensors. You notice that there's quite a bit of damage around the ship. Main power. There's quite a number of main power leakages that should really be rerouted. So because there's a energy power drain happening, and if you can close off those EPS power taps that are going to non-essential systems for the moment, you might be able to gain more power and stabilize the main control systems for the ship. Okay.
Try and jerry rig a fix.
All right, Frank, what are you up to?
I've been trying to establish communication, and it sounds like with the problems with the power, we need to contact engineering and see if we can get some of these systems back up and running.
Okay, so Frank, make a control and engineering roll, and access the communication systems.
Difficulty, John?
Difficulty, I'm going to say difficulty 2.
Control and engineering. Let's see.
Yeah.
12.
Frank, if you want, you can spend a momentum to get an extra dice.
I have a momentum yet. I'll spend
Right.
that.
Spending a momentum. You have no momentum left.
3d20.
Yeah, 3 dice, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Frank, 2 successes. All right, well done, Frank. So as you're typing away in the communication system, you notice that you're sending signals down to engineering and other sections of the ship, but nobody's answering. There's the signals going through, nobody's answering. You do also notice that Deck 5 subsection 2B panel has been accessed and rerouted to be a communications panel, and there's a signal traveling through that. It's a very odd signal. It's not quite stable, but you do manage to pull up the video relay, and you see me. And I seem to be talking to someone, but you're only getting a word here and a word there. And also, you also roll your eyes and go, oh, for fuck's sake, it was John. All right.
Frank, I'm only getting 4 and a bit of signs on the internal sensors here. Do we have that interphasic generator down in the special operations bay?
Well, we're going to need to contact Commander East to check on that. I think we're going to need to see if there's any we can get engineering as well to start working on restoring power to the systems.
Well,
There seems to be some communication going on here between Commander East and someone else. There must be someone else on board the ship.
I'd say so, but I'd say our primary responsibility right now is let's try and get this to... I can attempt a jerry-rig to try and kind of give us at least some additional power and some additional resources.
All right, Robbie, are you going to stay at tactical, or are you going to go up the back and try and use the engine?
I'm going to minor action change position to the engineering console.
All right. Go up the engineering.
Yep. And I am going to use my... I'm going to spend a point of determination, which I can do once per scene.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to use my value. There's always a backup plan.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
To
Got a
reduce
great message there from Gillian Newman. After playing her usual D&D last night, this is a wonderful change of scenery. So I'm glad you're sticking around, Gillian. And Michael, I hope you're still out there as well. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm certainly enjoying myself. I think I'm having great fun. This is perfect.
Basically, once per scene or once per episode, you can spend a point of determination. It's once per scene, you can spend a point of determination.
Mm-hmm.
Most characters have 3 determination, but it allows you to use one of your between 2 and 4 values.
Okay.
One of my values being there's always a backup plan will allow me to either reduce or in this case re-roll any d20s that I roll.
Okay.
That don't roll successes.
Okay.
Allow me to re-roll 1 d20 that doesn't roll a success.
Alrighty. So I'm going to say that to reroute the power and to get the system stabilized, now that you're on the bridge and you have more control over things and you have an actual engineering station, I'm just going to make it a difficulty of 2.
Cool. So I'm going to add 2 threat to get an extra d20.
Okay, going to add 2 threat. Alrighty.
Frank, you might want to step away from a console. This could get messy. And we're saying, what are we saying? Reason and engineering?
I either control and engineering or reason and engineering, whichever
I'll
one you want to use.
Control and engineering because that gives me a better score.
Alrighty. All right, what do we got? What do we got? 2 successes.
And I'm going to use the fact that I've spent my point of determination to re-roll that 17.
Okay, reroll the 17.
3 successes.
3 successes. Bank of momentum. All right, well done. So, Robbie, you managed to do that without any of the panels exploding on the bridge. And you've rerouted. You've managed you get the usual sound effect that you get in the show. The lights come on. You hear power surging through the stations. There's no longer flickering panels. You hit the button the first time, it works now instead of going fucking god damn it, stop flickering. And you now have main power, and all your displays are fully functioning and working on the bridge. Okay, well done. That's something good there. Back down to Morgan and Antoinette down in the corridor.
Morgan, I think we should make our way to the bridge and give him the information we got from Commander East.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't he say something about being under attack by Klingons? What?
Yeah, he said there's a 1 Klingon on board.
This makes sense. Let's just make our way. We use a Jeffrey's tube or something. I'm not sure about the layout.
Let's make it Jeffrey. Let's go to Jeffrey Tube now as quick as we can.
All right, guys. So you make your way to the Jeffrey's Tube. You pull open a panel and you head for the ladder and you start making your way up 5 decks. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get you to roll your fitness and security. Roll your fitness and security, and I'm going to give you the same difficulty as Robbie got, which was 3. As you make it up, and you're going to have to do this twice to show the amount of decks that you've had to climb. All right.
Okay.
So
you roll first there.
Yeah, go ahead, Morgan. You roll first.
Me roll first.
Robbie, just clear your dice roller there for a second.
Sorry.
Hang on, my roll is going to be terrible.
All right, Antoinette, you fail your first one. Luckily enough, you've just stepped on, and you fall sideways out of the way as you go for the rung. The ship gets hit with something, and you miss the rung, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. But luckily enough, the panel below, you didn't open that one. You have to get to the one above you. So luckily enough, you didn't fall anywhere because you just started. All right, Morgan, give us a roll.
Oh, that's 2d20.
1 success. Oh dear, Morgan. Morgan. You get to the panel, and you get to the top of the ladder, but you seem to the fucking thing won't open. You're like, oh, how do I? Oh, I've got a palm beacon. I better put that away. And oh, my tricorder, better put that in my pocket. And at the door, and you can't quite get to the door. Antoinette, make another roll there. Antoinette, you're the same. You're like, Morgan's at the door and you can't open it. And then as you manage to get onto the ladder, you realize Morgan has stopped moving, and you're like, what? All right, so you are stuck in the Jeffrey's trying to open another fucking door. As we cut back to the bridge.
I'm assuming we felt the ship rock as it got hit again there.
Yes.
Frank, I'm fairly sure we're actually under attack here.
Can we get any power to the shields?
Yep. As I use the minor action change position.
You run across. You vault over the captain's chair. Yeah, the shields are online, Robbie. The shields are online and operational. Red alert has been activated. So as you remember at the very start of the game, there was the call over the comm before the comm went out. So there was a red alert. Somebody activated red alert. The defensive grid is online. The phasers are charged and the torpedoes are loaded.
Oh, straight into target acquisition mode.
Okay, all right. So you're scanning you're scanning outside the ship.
Yep.
What's going on, Frank? What are you up to?
Well, I have been scanning inside the interior of the ship to detect the life signs. So if that has been successful, then we should be able to detect the Klingon and where Antoinette and Morgan are.
So you see on your control panel that there's two officers, Lieutenant Dean and Antoinette, are in the tubes, but they're in a Jeffries tube directly below the bridge, but 5 decks down. And you do notice that Morgan has seems to have tinkered with his comm badge, because his communications seems to be solid. So you might be able to talk to them. You see yourself and Robbie on the bridge, and you see a faint life sign down in the Spec Ops lab, but that's all you see. There's nothing else on board.
Okay, well then I'll attempt to make contact with Morgan and Antoinette to see if they can shed any light on what the current situation is.
Okay, so you tap your comm badge and you call Lieutenant Dean and Lieutenant Calcifer. All right, and it works out straight away.
Go ahead, Captain, or XO.
Hey, Antoinette, how's it going? What's the situation down there? You have been having trouble getting communication going.
We had communication from Commander East that there was a Klingon on board, and we're under attack. He's having issues with the interphasic generator in the Spec Ops lab.
Okay, so we need to get to the Spec Ops lab. You guys are in the Jeffrey tubes there at the moment.
We have communication with Commander East, Captain. We're trying to get to the bridge so that we can actually ascertain what's going on.
Right, okay. Let's see, we can get you out of that Jeffries tube and onto the bridge then, and establish better communications with Commander East. So how do I get to, say, maybe enable them to get out of that Jeffries tube from where I am on the bridge?
They just they can get, you can attempt to go to all to access panels for that Jeffries tube and just open up all the doors on the ladder.
Okay, let's do that.
So that would be control and I'm going to say that's control and security.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, Frank, that would be 12.
12.
And also, Frank, don't forget that you have you marked down that you had 4 stress damage as well. From previous. Oh, but and you healed, so we're gonna heal you. So you only have 2 at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Frank, roll your dice there.
Rolling.
2 successes, fantastic. Well done, Frank. So Frank tipped away on this console, and Robbie, you noticed behind you the hatch that you were trying to open that should have just gone earlier because Frank was standing on it. That didn't. This time just goes, and you hear down the tube. It go. You hear as the 4 deck doors open for the ladder. Antoinette and Morgan, you guys see above you, all the doors are just now open, and you see the roof of the bridge at the top of the ladder. So give me a fitness and security roll from each of you at a difficulty of 2. Antoinette manages to get up and onto the thing. She's climbing up. Antoinette's first up. She pops her head through the door. Morgan. 1 success. Morgan, you make it halfway, and as the ship gets rocked by another hit, something's hitting the ship. So you get stuck. You're about to fall off the ladder, but you don't quite fall off. So you're back onto the ladder. But Antoinette, you've made your way onto the bridge, and you're climbing out of the ladder, out of the hatch. You see in front of you Frank to your left and Robbie to your right, taking the consoles, tactical and communications. All right, what do you do?
Captain, I'm here for duty. What would you like me to do?
Well, I think we need to get to Spec Ops and find out just what exactly is going on. and locate this Klingon that you've reported. We need to see if we can find out where he is and what he's doing.
XO, respectfully, we got an enemy ship out there. We need to kill it first and then worry about the ship's internals.
Yeah, I thought you were actually processing that and looking to find the enemy ship so you could blast it out of our space.
Have I got it, John?
Huh? You see the ship, but Robbie, like you guys realize that in a battle situation like this, it's not one person that flies the ship. You need as many hands on the bridge to sort out all panels at the same time. So breaking up the crew from a bridge under an attack is not a good idea, because Robbie, you can see that the ship currently is sitting still in space. Basically a sitting duck. Nobody's flying it. The engines are not offline, but they're at a dead stop. So whoever's out there shooting at you is just flying circles around you, shooting at whatever point that they want. Nobody's operating the sensors.
Antoinette, have you got your wings yet? Did you ever qualify?
I have shuttlecraft operations on my focus.
So shuttlecraft operations is not flying the ship, I'm going to say. Frank, I know that you have you've got astronavigation and spatial awareness. So to be honest, with only 3 people on the bridge at the moment, Frank should be the person flying the ship.
All right. Okay.
I think the
I can
linguist
operate the sensors.
So I will move to the helm.
Yep.
Cool. That's a minor action.
So Frank's moving to the helm. And what, Antoinette? Where are you going to take Frank's station?
I will take Frank's station. Yeah.
All right. So there, you're there. Okay.
And I'll continue to be stuck in a Jeffries tube.
Morgan, you're still stuck in the Jeffries tube.
Fine.
So since you guys have all been running around, we give Morgan another chance. He's got 2.5 decks to go.
And I'm panting.
Morgan, we're like, everyone's looking at him. Jesus Christ, Morgan, more time at the gym for you.
Yeah, looks that way.
I'm just gonna put a volley of fire in the direction of the Klingon. I know we're sitting still, but we're sitting still, taking hits and not shooting back. That's just not gonna work for me.
Okay, you notice that the shields are now down to 75%.
Yeah, he needs to go boom boom.
Morgan, make a roll there for your fitness and security to see if you can vault up those 2.5 decks.
Okay.
Actually, knowing that Morgan is there, I'm going to use my collaboration security skill.
What, throw a rope down to him?
And allow him to use my security and collaboration stats.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know how that works while he's down a hole, but okay, go ahead.
Your target number is 15, Morgan.
15, great. Okay, that's much
15,
better.
2 successes, as per usual. Like you have a point of momentum.
Yes!
Yeah, he doesn't need the point of momentum. He makes it.
I'm on the bridge.
Morgan, you managed to make your way to the bridge. You land, you sit on the floor, just going. Jesus, the fuck, dude. Why can't the turbo lifts work in an emergency? Oh, so you clamber out onto the bridge.
Senior officers standing around me, and I'm going, I'd stand and salute. I can't.
So Morgan, since you're on the bridge now, what station do you go to?
Can I go to engineering?
Okay, you go to engineering. All right, so Morgan, you're up there at engineering. Very good. All right, so now we've got the crew on the bridge. Robbie's managed to reroute all power to the systems. Morgan, what's your first activity to do on the bridge? You've got more control over communications and everything now.
Yeah, Captain, what's my task?
Well, I would say is to restore all power as soon as possible. I'm busy engaging invasive maneuvers.
Yeah, can I attempt to restore more power through?
You can, of course, you can. One of the things Frank requested earlier on was that communications to Spec Ops be solidified.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you can. So that's either yourself, Morgan, or Antoinette. One of you guys will have to take that job. Frank is doing evasive maneuvers, and Robbie is doing targeting.
I am doing pew pew. That's what I'm doing.
I've got my communication focus, so maybe I should take that one just.
Okay. All right. So let's go in order here. So Frank, roll for evasive maneuvers. Finally, to get out. Robbie, the ship takes another hit just as you guys start to get into your systems. And Robbie, you notice that the shields have gone down another 5%. If you want to call that out to everybody, as per what happened during a battle on a starship.
Shields at 70%. Oh, God.
Okay, so throwing for evasive maneuvers. Which one's
So that's control and con, Frank.
Con. Okay.
Which would be helped by the ship with engines and con.
Mm-hmm.
So you start queuing up your engines and con roll. Robbie, you start queuing up your control and security. And you can either use control or daring, Robbie, for and security for what you're doing. And then you will be helped by either weapons. Well, obviously the weapons. You'll be helped by weapons and security.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Morgan, you queue up on your dice panel there that you're trying to establish communications. So you would either use insight and reason with your engineering. And Antoinette, what are you up to?
I am. Maybe I can scan for the ship to see if there's any life signs.
Okay, you notice that on your panel in front of you, Frank has already done that, and there's just the four of you on the bridge and a dodgy blinking life sign down in Spec Ops.
Plus a Klingon we're still trying to find.
Yeah. I see if I can detect the Klingon anywhere inside the ship.
So you're going to roll a insight and science to scan the internals of the ship for other life signs besides the known Starfleet personnel.
You can also use reason and science if you
or
wish.
Reason and science. Yeah. All right, so it's 2 successes for Antoinette. Antoinette punches up on her panel and notices that there's there's nobody else on board except the Starfleet crew members that she can see.
Now, being that's a difficulty 0 task because she's using the ship sensors.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 momentum. Thank you.
Right, there you go. There's nobody else. There's nobody else on board. There's no intruders, and plus the intruder alert system should be showing something. So there's nobody else on board. Right, Robbie, roll your.
Oh, I'm going daring and security with this one. So we're going for a big old 17.
Full card on
it. He's die rolling to push that button.
Oh, we're going torpedo high yield. And this time we're going to use 2 momentum to create an opportunity, i.e. targeting a weak spot on the Klingon.
Okay. So are you going to inform everybody what they're actually fighting?
Yeah, Klingon ship, starboard bow. Pew pew.
So, as you're reading your panel in front of you, you call out that, and just to make it, I'm gonna type it into the private chat so you can call it out yourself. There you go.
We've got a Braille class bird of prey. Isn't that one of those 25-year-old models?
The Klingons have always the Klingons always use the Braille class. They just outfit them and update them. The Braille class have been around for as long as the Miranda class has been with the Federation. They just do the same thing as the Federation.
So that's 2 successes on my weapons roll.
Okay.
And weapons and security. So the ship's weapons is 8 and the ship's security is 2, so that's a 10. 3 successes.
3 successes. Yes, you
torpedo
roll.
high yield.
Okay, so that means that so I have to roll against that. So what do I have to roll? What's my counter roll for that, Robbie?
Counter roll for that particular would be. Let me double check. Oh, it's a daisy. Straight to the book.
Conflict, momentum spend, conflict reference. Do we have Starship Compact? No, this is ground based. Melee thingy for ground based.
Space combat is fun in a tabletop game.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I was like, well, we have to do this because we have to figure, you have to get to know how to do this because it's kind of important, right? So this is the unfortunately always the delay in part of this. So
I did have it.
Roll the number of attacks, the hazard damage rating, total roll counter. What's my breaches, impact, damage?
226 in the book, John, if you're looking for it.
I do.
226 in the big book. I was looking in the small book. 226. 226. 2. Oh, that's 26. 226. All right. So this is the worst part of any role-playing game when you're trying to learn it. Right. Making it into attack. We've done that. How do I make a counter-attack? Counter-attack. Oh, damage and repairs, isn't it? No.
The attacker nominates a viable target. The attacker attempts control and security. If the task is successful, so it's a difficulty of 2, the difficulty of 3. So I don't actually get 2 success. I don't actually get the momentum back. Is the target within optimal weapons range, John?
Yes. This
Cool.
this ship, whoever's flying this ship is getting cocky because the Cuchulain's been sitting idle for so long. He's just out there flying around in loops, pounding on the shields. He's happy out, kind of going, right, I'll just keep shooting until I destroy this thing because nobody's fighting back.
Cool. So, in that case, you get hit with 3 damage, one of which is an effect damage.
Okay.
So 2 of that is absorbed by the shields, and 1 goes to a random subsystem.
Okay. There's a subsystem thing, isn't there?
And the subsystem is the structure.
Structure. So my structural integrity has gone down.
About
How
what?
many points?
2 points of shields, 1 point of structure.
2 points of shields. Okay. Boom, boom. And 1 point of structure. All right. Very good. Okay. So now we're into the point of okay. So I don't actually counter roll that. It's just based on what my stats are. What happens.
I have to succeed in shooting you, basically.
Cool. All right. That makes life a lot easier. Okay. So so that's there's a little bit of round of shooting there. So Frank, you need to roll for evasive maneuvers.
Okay.
All right. So so have you got that prepped in your thing?
Yeah.
Hit the roll button there.
After which I need to sign off, but because I need to get set up for the project. Let's see. Okay.
All right. Frank gets 1 on a 20. Oh dear.
So 1 success and a complication.
One critical success and a complication. Did they cancel each other out?
No, 2 successes and a complication.
Oh, okay. 2 successes and a complication.
So I would say there he manages to pull off a brilliantly successful maneuver, but burn out the starboard impulse engine.
Yeah, I'd say
Reduce
take
maneuverability by half.
just take a hit on the engines there.
Cool. I'll mark 1 point on the engines.
One breach on the engines there for Frank flying that. Okay, so where were we? So Morgan, you were trying to reroute communications.
Yep, I've got that lined up. I will roll now.
Okay. 2 successes. So Morgan, you managed to activate communications down to the Spec Ops lab. I pop up on your screen, and we've got a fully solid signal down to the lab now that you've got bridge and main powers restored. So what do you guys do? I look up from my panel and go, "Can you hear me?" Morgan, do you read?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll patch you through to the rest of the crew here on the bridge.
Okay, you throw me up on a split screen on the main view screen. And I kind of go, Frank, are you there? What's going on? Where are you? Are you up on the bridge?
Yes, report.
Okay, so we've got a Klingon Braille class bird of prey. It's I don't know, it's some random Klingon that's not adhering to the peace treaty, and he's just gone against the alliance. He just appeared, he decloaked, and just started firing on the ship. It seems to be the name of his ship seems to be the IKC. I can't pronounce the Klingon, but the translation is the Kittimer's Revenge. So obviously he's someone who's either annoyed about the Kittimer Treaty, or he's annoyed about the Romulans hitting Kittimer during the Kittimer Massacre, and he's just attacking us for some strange reason. His name is we don't particularly know much about him, but his let me just find his name here. I have his name somewhere. It's in a thing I have. God damn it! I need it. Where is it gone? Oh, I closed all my windows. Why did I do that? And oh yeah, so his name is Commander Colshaw. And I think by his activities, I think he's a renegade Klingon. It doesn't seem to be any of his actions that they are anything to do or condoned by the High Council. So, it's up to you how you want to deal with this. But he knocked his first few volleys, just knocked out main power, and a hit down near the belly of the ship, down in my lab, just knocked out the interphasic generator. So before we could return fire or do anything or even communicate with him, everyone slipped sideways and phased away, except for yourselves. I've been down here trying my best to reintegrate the system, but for the moment, you guys are the only 4 people who are able to access and control the ship. Everyone else is fine. They're just off by 004 variants. So anything they can interact. So you can interact physically with the panels, but they don't seem to be able to make any changes in the computer system. So it's up to the 4 of you to sort this out while I continue to try and reestablish control down here.
All right. Where are we with communications? Are we able to get long-range communications going yet?
Yeah, long-range communications. Everything according to my panels down here. Since Robbie's managed to get main power online and Morgan's managed to reroute the communication system, you seem to have full function and control of the ship. Shields seem to be down to 70%. With some structural integrity breaches and some EPS power taps are flowing out, but I think Robbie's managed to close those off. So for all intents and purposes, you've got a fully functional ship. You just got to worry about Cole Shaw out there.
Captain, is a Braille class any match to the Cuchulain?
Unfortunately, yes.
So Robbie, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. She's more maneuverable. She's got slightly better stopping power than we do, but we've got the advantage in shields and armor.
So a Braille class bird of prey, you should know by now. You should know at this stage just from because it's been around for nearly 100 years. A Braille class bird of prey is the smaller of the birds of prey. There's the Braille and the Cavort class. The Braille usually has a crew of just about 12. So it's one of the advanced scout ships, but it's got a scale or a rating of 3, and we're on a rating of 3. So if we were on an Oberth class starship, we'd be dust already. It's just that we're the new Nova class, and we're the second Nova class out there. The Nova is the one that they use in dry dock to test systems, and the Cuchulain is when the system is ready to go and go into space. So that's why we are given the Nova class with special missions, and why we have advanced and strange technology.
Okay, we should be able to hold them off while we try and contact Starfleet and also the Klingon High Command to advise them they've got a renegade in Federation space.
All right. So that leaves us with bang on 2 hours of running time. So Frank has to, there's the XO chat is going to be happening on the Cuchulain Facebook page and the Cuchulain YouTube channel. Here in about an hour and a half. So we're going to leave this one shot here. We managed to get everybody on the bridge, and we managed to finally, Morgan, get
most D&D characters have issues with doors. Morgan's nemesis is ladders.
Yeah. So I plan my character too well.
Yeah, exactly. He can fly communications console, no worries. Just don't ask him to operate a door.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we leave that there, and we'll come back to this. How's everybody for next week?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, because I do the XO chat every 2 weeks. So if we do this next week, the XO chat would be the week after. So rather than having them coming together like we did just
today. Well, today was more of a test bed to see if we could get. I think we got through a decent bit of a story, and we still got a bit of dice rolling and going. It's only the Starship combat that's a bit confusing for us. Right. Okay. So you're good.
No, I'll have to leave for 5. So I don't know. We can.
Okay. Well, what we can do next week is, if everybody's happy enough, we can do 3 o'clock next Sunday. To allow Antoinette, and we'll do another 2 hours on this. And if we manage to get this one shot complete, well, we might finish even earlier than that. So let's go for the Sunday, March 28th at 3 o'clock next week for the next session. Anybody watching on the Facebook, please join us on live in the comments, as the guys have been, Michael and Gillian, Marcus, and all them who've been out there, and Andy Quinn, obviously. Thank you so much for joining us live. And that's it. So we'll see you guys in a week's time, and we'll see what happens. To be continued.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you later, and hopefully we'll see some of you on the XO chat live as we talk about Q Forward. All right.
Talk to you later. Bye.